Hello once again, witchy people and others. Welcome back to my covenstead. So this is a sort of diet update, and I've kind of been a bit inspired by Trish again. I like watching Trish and her journey through, I think she calls it health and well-being, I think, because she's brutally honest, and I think sometimes we all need that. No more of this fapping back. See, I'm the type of person, I don't watch other YouTubers who are dieting or tend to be diet gurus, that sort of thing, simply because I don't have an affinity with them. There's no one my age with my problems who have had my weight problems and who have been as big as I have been that make videos. And even if there was, sometimes it's very difficult to sit and watch a person who's achieved what you have not yet achieved. So, I like to watch Trish because she's like, oh, I had a binge, and explains why. The weather was cold, and to me, that makes perfect sense. Anyway, so I thought I'd give you a quick recipe, also inspired by Trish, because she shares what she eats and how she sort of like keeps going during the day. I'm trying not to knock my camera, my computer off the side here. I'm a bit perched at the edge. Anyway, so I thought I'd share a recipe. Now, before I tell you this recipe, I would like to first say that I understand and I know how important fat is in a diet, in a general diet. No matter how much weight you're trying to lose or how healthy you want to be, you cannot and should not cut fat out of your diet. But the recipe I'm about to say gives no extra fats whatsoever. However, I do use quite a lot of salt because I like salt, and I shouldn't because I have high blood pressure. So, with that, get my bits and pieces here. So, as many of you know, I'm a vegetarian, not through choice, but I've got no choice. And so the recipe I'm about to give you is a recipe for, and it's really easy, oven roasted veg. And my husband likes his with a lot of Italian or Spanish seasoning, and he has prawns with his. And sometimes rice, especially wild rice. So that's one way. I have mine with Moroccan seasoning. I love Moroccan flavoured foods. If I had, oh, that was the dog, sorry, made me jump. If I had a tagine, I would use it constantly. Anyway, so the main ingredients to this recipe are, and this recipe will do me for 4 days because it's quite a lot. So, well, let's say 3 days. So you need 1 courgette. When I cut up my courgette, I use a potato peeler. I don't cut it into chunks. I do for my husband because he quite likes it, but I don't like courgette in chunks. I like to have it in thin ribbons. It's the only, I don't like it cooked any other way. It's the same with aubergine. I think in America they call it eggplant. That beautiful purple. Anyway, my daughter makes something called aubergine bacon, where you slice it and you season it and you oven bake it. And it's absolutely wonderful. It does taste a bit like bacon. Anyway, so courgette. Because I think you do need to have a variety of vegetables and a little bit of colour to keep, to add flavour and interest. And it's good for you because different colours usually means that the vegetables have different attributes, different vitamins, things like that. So 1 courgette, 1 bell pepper, preferably a yellow bell pepper, and I cut that into strips. Then it's 1 onion, preferably a red onion. Some people don't like red onion, I understand that. And I cut that in half and then chop it so that I get nice little half rings of onion. Then sometimes I will use mushrooms. That's good to add in there. I grate one large carrot, and not too finely grated. You can have it in slices, but I like it grated. And then 3 normal sized, about yay big, your normal size tomatoes, cut into 8 pieces, so in half and in half again, and then cut each of those bits in half. And a bulb of garlic, because I love garlic. So that all goes into a lined roasting pan, and I only line it with a foil with a good tablespoon of lemon or lime juice. Mix it thoroughly. And then I sprinkle a good teaspoon or 2 of Moroccan seasoning. This one happens to be that brand there, Schwartz. I love, like I said, I love Moroccan food. So this, and I'm going to read out the ingredients on the back, the main ingredients, if you can't get hold of Moroccan seasoning, so you can sort of like add it to taste what you do like. And you've got to bear in mind that the ingredients on the back are in volume. So the first ingredient is what is most of in there. So it is roasted cumin, paprika, right, roasted cumin is 29%, paprika 16%, dried onion, dried garlic, roasted ground coriander seed, so that's the brown coriander, not green leaf coriander, which Americans call cilantro. So coriander seed, salt, black pepper, mint, it's like 6% mint, ground cinnamon at 3%, coriander leaves, so that's cilantro, yellow mustard seed, ground coriander seed, and then it's just anti-caking agents. Turmeric, cloves, fenugreek, allspice, cumin, fennel seed, nutmeg, cayenne pepper, rosemary, savoury, basil, oregano, marjoram and thyme. So the others are just tiny bits. So if you had some, perhaps got some a mixed herb mix, and then because some people don't like the spice. The reason my husband doesn't like the Moroccan is because he's not a huge keen spice lover. So there you go. That is, and then I put it all in the oven and I roast it at a medium heat. So my oven, I think, is a centigrade oven. It's about 180 degrees centigrade. It goes up to 220. So it's about 180, so that's medium to high heat. And I roast it for a good hour. And then when I serve it up on either Chinese lettuce leaves or romaine lettuce heart leaves, because that gives me that lovely crunch that I like. And I love hot and cold together, so I like the hot mix of veg on top of a cold leaf. As I say, my husband likes his with prawns and or chicken, nice bit of chicken breast, and rice, preferably a wild rice mix, and he likes it with peas and things like that. So you can add what you like into it, your favourite roasted veg, but the whole meal, and I will have 4 leaves and just fill each leaf and then eat it with a knife and fork because I'm prissy. But I use the lemon juice and lime juice quite often, lemon and lime mixed, and I love lime juice, to cook it in, and it gives it a little bit of a sauce which is quite thick. I didn't say how many mushrooms I add. Usually I add about 5 mushrooms sliced, 5 to 6 mushrooms. So there we go. And it is a really substantial meal, and I serve it, like I say, on lettuce leaves with salt and pepper, and that lasts me 2 days, at least 2 days, 3 days. I mean, sometimes 4. but it's really nice cold. It's nice on a jacket potato, which is, if you have a jacket potato, please remember, if you can, eat the skin as well, that fibre. It helps to pass food through your system more quickly. It keeps your system healthy, keeps your gut healthy. So this is why you should always eat fibre. So if you can, you should eat the skins of tomatoes, of apples, of potatoes. So there you go, that's my little recipe. Now, I did video myself walking into the lounge today because I wanted to show you how far I've come. I thought it was about time you saw a full body, even though I'm wearing a full length dress. Because, so I'm just moving this a bit. I just wanted you to see how far I've come. You've got to bear in mind that I was over 300 pounds at one point. I weighed an awful lot. It was about 22, 23 stone in English money. So well over 300 pounds. Now, obviously I didn't start that high this time. I started at just under 20 stone. So that is about 280 pounds. I think I started off about 275 pounds this time round. Right, grab my coffee. So I think I've come a long way. Now I am only 5'2.5". That half is important. So I'm short. I'm known as, height-wise, I'm known as petite. The size and shape I am now, I'm a UK size 12, and that's a modern day 12. And the reason I wanted to talk about dress sizes is quite important. So a modern day size 12. If I was back in the 80s, I would be a size 14 to 16. My daughter calls it vanity sizing. Now, I'm a size 14 top because I have a very broad back, always will have. And I have wide hips, but you know, size 12 bottom, size 14 top, that's fine by me, which is the size, I think in America that would be, in Australia it's the same. In America, a 14 is a 12, so I'd be a 12 top and a 10 bottom. Pretty sure that's right. So, vanity sizing. I am not spending too much time and effort thinking about what clothes size I am in. As I said, now I am a size 12 bottom. I can squeeze into a size 10 pair of jeans, and I do mean squeeze. But whether I wear a size 12 or a size 14 in old, for my old clothes, because I have a lot of clothes left over from the 80s, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the number on the label says, because the waist size is the same. If you measure it, it's going to be the same, and that's what you should go. So a good diet tip, especially for those who have lost weight, because sizes change all the time. Like I said, what used to be a size 14 to 16 is now a size 12. And if you always go out shopping with a tape measure, especially if, like me, you are a charity shopper. I love charity shopping, missing it so much since the whole pandemic. It's one of my absolute joys. And the reason, this is all linked, and it's going to be a long video, I apologise. The reason I like charity shopping is because I can get what would be considered retro clothes. So don't worry about what the label on your clothes says, what size you are. It's irrelevant. Most different places have different sizes anyway. Just measure the waist, measure the hips, because that's your size. Okay, so I don't care if a jumper I have is a size 16 or a size 20, because I like big jumpers and t-shirts. I like big t-shirts. I don't know where that come from, I'm so sorry. I like to belt things up because I am an 80s teenager, and which leads me on to something else. So we've done sizing and vanity sizing. Now I'm talking about clothes. And this came about with a conversation with my mum. And she was mentioning that, you know, I mentioned first that I have a certain style. And never work with children or animals. Oh, finished? Good. This is the second time I've done this video. The first time he threw up everywhere. I had to stop, clean it up and then start again. Anyway, so yes. Finished? I've lost myself completely now. Where was I? Style. So, yes, I have a certain style, and it's been described as a bit gypsy gothic, which boho gypsy gothic hippie suits me down to that. I mean, I've mentioned it before. The local children used to call me the Queen of the Witches. Whether it was meant as an insult or not, I don't know. I took it as a compliment. I absolutely loved it because I tend to wear black a lot. To see me wearing something like this dress, which has a floral pattern on it, is rare. I don't wear ditzy floral patterns though. Anyway, so style. It doesn't matter that you wear old-fashioned things. I think I can get away with dressing in not just 80s style clothes, but clothes that I still had in the 80s. It doesn't matter that I have a beautiful jacket I've had since the 80s, and I will continue to wear it because I love it so much. I have, oh crikey, I was looking through some of my things the other day. Some of the, you know, things I have are so old. But like I said, I have clothes left over from the 80s, and the thing is, they will come into fashion again. I have cigarette trousers which are now called tapered trousers, you know, and they've been in and out of fashion 3 times. And they were in fashion once before then, at least once before then. Fashion does repeat itself. Now, if you wear something very up to date, and it's like squeezing into a size just because it says that size on the label. If you wear something just because it's up to date, or because you feel it's modern, because you want to fit in somehow, which, let's face it, most witches don't anyway. We don't like to fit in. Why should we? You will feel uncomfortable, and because you feel uncomfortable, it will not suit you. I can get away with wearing 80s things. I don't care what other people think anyway. It's my style, and because I feel comfortable in it, I think I feel good in it. Therefore, I look good in it. And that has been the greatest joy in losing weight again, is being able to wear what I want rather than what fits me. And that is a great goal, to wear what you want, not what fits you. So if you have a style and you think it's old-fashioned or out of date or out of fashion, it doesn't matter. The thing is, if you're my age and you still wear things like they were in the 80s, they're not old-fashioned now, they're classic. And classic never goes out of fashion. Classic dress is fine. But your classic is what suits you. What suits you, what you feel comfortable in. And if you feel comfortable in something, I think it improves your posture and you feel good about it, so you tend to look better. So that's another piece of sage advice from this old lady. Wear what you want. Now, I have seen 60, 70-year-old women covered in tattoos with punk Mohican dyed green hair, and I think they look fantastic. They rock it. They rock the look because they love the look, and they know that this is what they feel comfortable in, so they know they look good. So don't feel conspicuous or out of time even for wearing what you want, because I've seen women who have been like UK size 18s and 20s wearing the tiniest, tightest pencil skirts and even bikinis, and I think they look fantastic because it's confidence. So now, bearing all that in mind, I'm going to, because like I said, feeling confident in yourself. I was talking to my daughter, and this is where my notes come in. I actually wrote it down. And my daughter Naomi gave me the most fantastic bit of advice. She said, stop comparing your present self to how you want to be, and start comparing yourself to how you once were and used to be. Because you'll never be happy if you compare yourself to how you think you should be, because you may not ever reach that goal. Don't, celebrate the wins, learn from the mistakes and the blips, and don't dwell on less productive moments. Let the bad days go and try to forge ahead with a positive attitude. Look forward to the future with the expectation of a better and healthier you, but know that nothing is perfect, and that's okay too. And my advice to myself, because I'm always told, another reason I don't watch a lot of these sort of like diet channels and health and well-being and health and wellness channels, is because they tell me I have to love myself, love my body. Now, I love me, don't get me wrong, I do not love this body and I never will. However, my advice, you don't have to love yourself, but you do need to accept yourself. Accept your body shape, its lumps and bumps, its saggy bits and its droopy bits, and I have a lot of both of those. And love that your body has got you this far. It's an amazing body. I don't love it, but I'm very proud that I've managed to get this far. And I'm comparing myself to as I once was, never to how I think I want to be, because I'll never be that. So there you go. A recipe, diet advice from my daughter, who's amazing, and just some thoughts on vanity sizing and sizing in general. Don't look at the label, take a tape measure and measure it. You'll feel much happier. I think we'd all be much happier if we stopped looking at the scales and looking at labels on clothing. I mean, everyone hates a label, we know that. I now hate clothes labels. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about was plateau-ing. And this is quite difficult. I've had a really hard time lately, so I'll put my notebook down. So I've had a really hard time lately. I have two weights where I plateau. One is at about 13.5 stone. And basically what it is your body likes being at a certain weight. And no matter how hard you try, it seems to take forever to start losing. Now, I get down to 13.5 stone. I do quite well. And 13.5 stone is, oh crikey, let me figure this one out. So 10 is 140 pounds. 30, 42, 47. So 177 pounds. It's about 175 pounds. My body says, I like this. We're not moving now. And I have to really, it hurts, really. It almost hurts to be able to start getting my body to say, no, you can go a bit lower, you can go a bit lower. And my second plateau is where I'm at now. Now, that's somewhere between 11 and 11.5 stone. So that's sort of 155 to 165 pounds. I've plateaued again. And it's been like that now for the past month. I'm going up and down within the same weight. And I know I could put more effort in. But I think we're all just a bit fed up. Most of us are really fed up with this whole pandemic. We can't get dressed up. I'd love to get dressed up and go. This is my excuse to get dressed up, is talking to you. I've made the effort. I even put eyelashes on. But my excuse to get dressed up is to talk to you. So it's an excuse to put on a dress because I can't wear it out. I'm not going to be able to, go down to my local pub and sit in the beer garden, not for a few months yet. So we're all a bit fed up, and that kind of despondency makes you think, why should I bother? And this is where I think I go back to Trish, because she's bothering not to fit into something, not to wear something, not to see a lower number on the scale, but she's doing it for her health and well-being. I am, in a sense, doing it for that. I'm getting to the point where I think I'm going to stop using my scales and just start using a tape measure to measure my waist, my hips, that sort of thing, just to see how I'm doing. But I think, for me, certainly, there is a certain amount of mental well-being, mental health in losing weight. It makes me feel good about myself. And I don't want to dwell on the fact that I want to be a certain size, or that perhaps I am more acceptable to others being a certain size, because I don't think that. I don't accept people based on their size or anything else. I accept people for who they are. And I'm assuming most other people are that way too. The majority of people must be the same way. But there's that little kernel of doubt and a horrible thought inside yourself, inside myself, that says I am not acceptable to other people if I look a certain way, if I'm a certain weight. I can dress in 80s clothes, that's fine by me. I don't care what people think, but apparently I do care what people think about how big or small I am. And I don't think that's ever going to change. I think it's just who I am. And as I said, that does come down to, I love myself. I'm an okay person, I can do nice things. My children love me. I've got the most amazing friends who they know I would do almost anything for. And I know they do the same for me. Someone's just dropped something in the kitchen. However, I will never love this body. Even with nips and tucks and surgery, I will never love this body. I'm kind of proud of what it's done for me. It gave me beautiful children. It helped me raise 4 beautiful children. So, and maybe that's it. Acceptance is perhaps better than full out. I love myself. I'm going to shut up now. I have gone on way, way too long. And I've got an update to do, general updates to do yet. So there you go. I hope you've been okay listening to me ramble on. But my thoughts just spewing out there into the ether. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, witchy people. I will be back very soon. Bye for now. Oh, and I will add on the end of this video, the video of me walking into the room so you can see, as well as I can see, how far I've come. That's it, really, truly. Thank you for watching. Bye. Look, Buckley. Look, baby, your face.